Morning, guys. Morning, Zeems, my boy. Welcome. Hope you're all doing well. How are you doing, Zeems? Just quickly checking out some of these charts. I haven't looked since yesterday afternoon, more or less, except for that stuff that you sent me. It's my boy. Okay. I'm great, thanks. Can't move this for some reason. There we go. How's it, Justin? How are you doing? Nice to see you in stream. How's everything going down south? Okay, guys, so I'm gonna break down GJ quickly, and then I'll get into gold. We are still bullish on the weekly. You can see the previous weekly candle was how it closed, bullish, so we haven't changed from yesterday. That'll only change tomorrow afternoon. We'll use the current weekly. Going on to the daily, yesterday we formed a pretty decently strong bearish candle, so we formed some daily resistance. We're kind of trapped in this daily range. Let me just take all this stuff away. We have this daily range right now. So what we kind of want to see is us get out of this eventually. The problem is with the volume slowly dying down towards the end of the year, it's going to obviously be a little bit harder. But we eventually will. So yeah, yesterday we formed a bearish daily candle. We're still bullish in market structure on the daily because obviously we have our high, which is up here. And then this is the point which created it, and we didn't get a candle close below that point. We only rejected that point. So we are bullish in market structure on the daily. On the 4 hour, we had this big 4 hour drop yesterday, which I saw was pretty late on. Now this was a 4 o'clock candle. We still bullish, however, because this was our low which we created. This was point which created the low. This was a new high, making this, because this exceeded our point which created the low, making this our new low. So if we get below this point over here, then we'll be bearish in market structure, otherwise we stay bullish. So we haven't created a new high, so everything in here right now is micro trend. If you're going down, it's micro trending bearish. If you're going up, you're with the trend. So at the moment, we are bullish on the 4 hour as well. You can see up here, we obviously have this 4 hour resistance, which formed yesterday with that strong bearish candle. We also have a 4 hour support level below here. Obviously, if we do break above this 4 hour resistance level, we'd like to come up ideally to the top of the 4 hour clean candles, which would be at that area over there. Sales wise, very choppy price action. You can see these rejection wicks over here, so it's going to be a bit tougher. Gonna have to drop down to the low time frames to check that out. So then we're going to go to the 30. We did flip market structure bearish. How's it, Luke? How are you doing? We did flip market structure bearish yesterday when we got that candle closed below this point over here, because this was a low which created the high. This then became the low, and this then became the new low, because we exceed, as you can see, we closed below that this line, which is low, making this our point which created the high. Now we transitioned bearish for a little while, and then this morning we closed above that point, making us bullish again. So we're bullish again on the 30 minutes until we get below this area over here, making it a 4v0 buyers market. So once again, I'm only looking for buyers today. I'm good, and you? I'm great, thank you. Feeling good about today. We have all this to trade into in a buyer's market. We just need to look for, honestly, optimal entries. So we did get a close above the resistance level over here, but you can see we came back down and closed, straight back in the range. But because we're in that strong bullish market, what I'm expecting is to get a candle close above this area over here. And then we can wick down during London Open and more or less continue up until here. Because we have this resistance level, which we can get back up to. So basically retesting the high, retesting this 4 hour high, as you can see over here. So this was like a 4 hour pullback, and now we can continue upwards. 45 pip range, exactly. This is looking really, really nice if we do end up getting the candle confirmations that we want. But that's what we need to wait for. It's just the candle confirmations. So let me just write some stuff in here. This is, remember, also our 4-hour support level, which I have marked in over here, which was also that low which was created. Now we have a new low, so obviously we would shift this down a little bit. This was also a little bit of a fake out to the downside, if you can see this. I do talk about the fake outs quite a lot. We had this range established, support, resistance, closed outside the support, next candle closed straight back in, and then we followed through with that theory of retesting the top of the range if you fake out. This was the top of the range, we've retested it, and we closed above it. So basically, that could be price telling us that it doesn't want to continue bearish, and this was kind of just a minor little pullback. And now, you know, we're getting to that nice low price where the buyers will start getting involved and we'll start moving up. Let me just... Sell-wise, obviously I'm not too interested in sells. We will flip our 30-minute structure bearish below this point over here. Sorry. This is our high, so we'll flip our structure bearish below this area over here. As you can see, price action to the left here is terrible. So, and we also have these rejection wicks. So ideally what I'd like to see, if we are to transition bearish on the 30-minute and continue bearish, what I'd want to see is obviously a low created and then trade down. I don't really want to get involved if there's choppy price action to the left on this initial push down. I'd rather wait for a retracement and then a continuation. Alessandra, how are you doing? Yeah, let me check that link out for you. Thanks very much for that. Clean candles, buys above 150, exactly what I'm thinking. So I'm just obviously wary about the sells because this is GJ, right? I'm assuming. I died. And yeah, so the sells obviously I'm wary about because of the bullish market structure. So for me to take sells would obviously have to be a clean fake out on the 1 hour or the 30-minute, where we literally come and break this next candle low over here. Other than that, I'm going to be looking for buys all day, just because of, you know, this 4v0 market structure. Sells, I'd like to see something like this. If you guys have any charts, please do send them in. So buys above this level, let me just write it in here, guys. Buys above 150. Nice clean candle close above that level, and then retest of the zone and continuation would be ideal. Obviously might not get that exact setup, but we can work with this range. It's such clean candles and such bullish market structure. Yeah, 4v0 bullish market structure. We were 3v1 because yesterday we obviously had this high created. This was the point which created the high. We got a close below there, so this was our new low. So now we're bearish in market structure on the 30. Until at that point, it was until we got up here. Then what ended up happening was we created a new low. So we find the area which created the low, which was this 2 or more candle pullback, and we got a close above that area over here. So we've transitioned bullish again. So now it's 4v0. I know, obviously, guys, if you haven't learned structure properly or basically haven't learned it the way that I teach structure, this can seem like quite confusing and quite hard to get used to, and it can be a little different, but basically what it works on is legs that create highs and legs that create lows. So if we have this low over here, this is, let's say this is a 2 or more candle pullback, this will be the point that transitions structure bullish once we get a candle close above here. So basically I wouldn't be interested in those buys to that point, because that would be counter trend. And what often happens in that situation is you will get something like this, where we come up here and people start hopping in the buys, and then we just get this rejection at that point and create new lows. Yeah. So I like to see a full transition. Cheers, Justin. Enjoy the gym. So I'm not even gonna, Zeems, I'll check that chart out now. I'm not gonna look at potential sells for now, or I'm not gonna put potential sells below that region, this 149.7 6, 7, because I personally won't be looking for that. But what I will be looking for if we are going to continue the sells is obviously that clean push down and then a retest of the zone and then continuation. So that way we get in on what's called the second leg. Because the problem with getting in on the first leg is often there can be exhaustion if you don't get in like at the early stages. And to get in here would be counter trend for us. So we want to get in, obviously if you want to take the impulse, you can take the impulse below here. But then what you got to be careful of is, okay, where's the low going to be formed? And then are we going to come retest this previous point of support and turn it into resistance? And once we see that resistance form, then we know, okay, we can come back down to the lows. Because remember, 80% of the time that you form up low or high, you will retest that low or the high. So I hope that that does make like a little bit of sense. And yeah. And counter trend trading, exactly. I will break down gold for you guys just now. So this is what I'm looking for on GJ. And let me check out your chart here, Zeems, because I see you have put one in here. So this is GJ as well. Yeah, so on the 30-minute, these are the buys I'm looking for. Can you analyze gold? Yeah, for sure. I'll do a full market breakdown on gold. I'm looking for these buys. I do understand why you've marked out the zones, because you always do need to have an option for sells. But what you need to be obviously wary of is that the structure is so bullish that the sells could reject at any point if we don't get some sort of structure flip, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's just be careful of that, and then we can start thinking about sells. But nice chart. I've been watching you for the past week, and honestly, this is the most I've ever learned about trading. It's made so simple. I'm going to get course at the end of the month. That is awesome to hear, bro. TJ, I appreciate the kind words, and I'm glad that it's the free streams are helping out. That is literally the reason why I started doing the streams. And I'm yeah, excited to have you on board with the course. Best decision of life. Thanks, Seems. Seems, guys. He's one of the more involved members, and yeah, changed his perception of trading completely. While we wait for this candle close and market open, gonna do a London open. I'm gonna do a quick gold breakdown for you guys. So weekly, obviously, like I said yesterday, we have this doji candle close last week. Weak bearish candles. So of course, by technicals, pure technicals, this is bearish in market structure. So the only problem is it's weak bearish, like really weak. So on some brokers that will show as like a weak bullish candle just because of the price differences. So I would still, if you're going to use the 4 key time frames for this pair breakdown market structure, I would say weak bearish. So let's say bearish. Then yesterday, obviously, we formed this bullish candle. We're still bullish in market structure on the daily. This was our high area, which creates the high. We did not get a candle close below this point, so bullish in market structure. We're trying to get out, again, we're in a range, similar to GJ. Terrible price action. Daily basically says all this basically a barcode. Then we have the 4 hour, which was also ranging, but the 4 hour structure at the moment, this was our low, our point which created the low. We haven't exceeded that point and we haven't created a new low, so we're still bearish in market structure. So at the moment it's 2v1. Then zone wise, I still wouldn't really be marking out any zones yet. I can see obviously there is this resistance which was formed, and there is this 4 hour support which was formed, but price action is so choppy, so we can just go down the time frames and probably get a better zone to mark in. 1 hour price action, or 1 hour structure should I say. This was our high. This was a point which created the high. We got a close under that. So it's a very, very slight close under that point. So we are gonna be bearish until we get a close above this point, or until we create a new low, and then it's gonna be a little bit higher up. So 3v1 bearish market structure, but honestly, sells are looking tough on gold. It's not going to be easy to sell. There obviously is this range below here, which, let me see how many pips this is. Yeah, 31 pip range. Definitely sellable. Buys, I mean, it's not looking great until we get above here. I know we do have this rejection wick to the left over here, but it's still definitely buyable above that point. So yeah, I'd say definitely potential sells below this level. You can see we're coming down towards it now, down till this point, because of obviously the clean candles and 3v1 bearish market structure. But I'm a lot more interested in gold in GJ right now than I am in gold. But as you can see, if you do trade gold, I would be keeping an eye on it, because it is trying to push down. GJ coming up here. We still have 12 minutes until this candle close. I mean, you did get a 15-minute candle close above this resistance, and then a wicked out and a push up. So if you want to take the early aggressive buys, now is a very good entry for the early aggressive buys. If you're interested in that sort of thing, I would obviously just take a less risk trade at that point. But you just need to be careful, because without a 30-minute candle close above this resistance area, what we could just end up doing is obviously wicking up like this and then coming straight back into this range. So yeah, just be careful. I do see potential by the end of the day. If we do start getting the right candle closes and candle formations, we can definitely come up to this point over here, either retest highs or create new highs. You want a type B? Yeah, so taking this right now would be a type A. Just gonna reload this, it's lagging a little bit. Otherwise, if you guys have any charts or anything that you want to send through, get some opinions on, please do. Please also remember to leave a like on the stream if you haven't, guys. It helps a lot and it's free. Gold sells risky. Well, there's 10 minutes till the candle close, so you need to think about two things. If you take the impulse, where's the technical level for your stop loss? The problem is the technical level for your stop loss, if you're going to take it now, is either going to be above this 15 minutes, or if you're going to play it really safe, it's going to be above the 30 minutes, and that would be over here. So if you're going to take the impulse, you're going to have a big stop loss, so obviously lower your lot size. If you're going to wait for the candle close, there's a good chance that you're going to just miss the move because it might just go. And then there's always that FOMO of, oh, should I hop in, should I hop in? So you do need to be wary of that. Type B, what you'd obviously be looking for is a candle close below this area, wick back up to the support area, see some minor resistance form, so basically a minor break and retest, and then continuation down to the support that's at a lower level, which would be the support over here, because there's clean candles to the left. Clean candles on the 30-minute, clean candles on the 1 hour. Like I said, the only problem you have with this sort of an entry, if this candle maybe started over here, music's a little loud, let me turn it down. You can try it. Is it better now, I hope. You can see if we had the candle open here, you would have been able to have a technical stop loss at that point. Let me know if the music is better, by the way, or if it's softer. GJ, still waiting for that candle close. Just got to be patient with this. If we get a candle close above this resistance with London open, there's a good chance we can continue bullish. Very, very good chance. I'm just going to post this link on Instagram, guys. So, oh, better? Okay, cool. Yeah, gold has like very good potential. It's with market structure and it's a big range, but if you just want to play it safe, please do wait for the candle close. Looks good on the 15. Had our lowest candle close on the 15, but obviously you have this support level on the 15. Your stop loss would, at this point, you should have it above the current 15 if you're going to take the aggressive entries. Because like I said, there's quite a while until this candle closes, but you don't want to get faked out of the range to the bottom side. We have about 8 minutes until London open, guys. Yep, gold is giving it. So remember, if you are going to take the, or have taken the impulse entry on gold, make sure that you lowered your risk. Please. Because you can very easily get a retracement, and that can cause a lot of issues. You're in gold, yeah, you're going to want to manage that. So what I do to manage trades is obviously watch it on the 5 minute. So you got to watch 5 minute highs. If 5 minute highs aren't being respected, that's when you should close partials. That's how you manage risk. So just watch out for that. I will be waiting for GJ. I really want to see GJ buys. I'm waiting for the close. Wise. I mean, look, if you have taken the impulse, there's obviously ways to manage this risk where it's not going to be an issue if it does end up coming back into the range. Keep a tight stop loss. If you're using the 15 as a stop loss, it's only a 6 pip stop loss. If you're going to use maybe some one of the 5 minute candles, problem with 5 minute candles is obviously they're not very like reliable. Their highs do get broken quite often and then continue in the direction that you want it to continue in. So you could maybe put it above here, which is like a 12 pip stop loss. As soon as you start going above there, it's like 20 pips or more, which is quite a lot. Still waiting on GJ. News-wise today, guys, remember we have PPI. Chatted about this yesterday. Historically has moved the market quite a decent amount. We also have this on NZD, which is high impact. I don't trade the New Zealand dollar, but I know some people do. So that would be relevant. Otherwise, yeah, these are the two that you're going to want to watch out for if you trade any dollar pairs. Tomorrow is a big news day. Huge. The Federal Reserve is chatting, and whenever they chat, there's some mad stuff that goes down. If they chat more about the tapering, we're obviously gonna, and they say tapering is going ahead, the dollar value is gonna strengthen, of course. So if you're looking at gold right now, definitely start thinking about closing some partials, because if you're breaking this high and then coming up to this high, you need to be careful. Yep, don't forget to like the stream, please, guys, if you haven't already. I would appreciate it. Stop loss hit. Well, at least you kept it tight, you know. I hope that you managed to somewhat manage your trade. That is just the risk that you take with the breakout. You know, without the candle close confirmation, it's not basically telling us that this support is no longer valid. Do you use the physical magic keys? No, I have the digital magic keys. I think it's like $30. You can get it on the website. So yeah, same as GJ, guys. If anyone was planning on taking those early GJ buys, you know, just would have been faked out just by not waiting for the candle confirmations. And now that we are basically indicating here that we could be respecting this range, it means we could start ranging again. It's the importance of just waiting for candle closes. As well with GJ, it's important to be patient because we have so much range to trade into. Even if we did get a high up candle close, we still could have got that retest and then continuation. Do you want to get the physical one? Yeah, the physical one, they're quite quick with delivering magic keys. It'll take like a couple of weeks, I think. Managing risk without a risk management tool is extremely tough. And I advise anyone that is looking to get magic keys or anything like that. I don't know if it will show up on my screen here, but this is basically what it looks like. It is a tool which basically allows you to close some of your position. You can open trades and all that sort of stuff on here. It makes it easy to close half if you're in drawdown or close custom. So that's why whenever I say I close 90% of my position and move my stop loss to break even, all I have to do for that is click this one button once I'm X amount of pips up, and then it does all that for me in the click of a button. So this is free advertisement for magic keys, Roger Banks, you're welcome. But yeah, try investing that. You can go onto the Magic Keys website and get one for $30. Because at the end of the day, guys, what separates a profitable trader from a break-even or like trader who just blows accounts and can't be profitable is risk management. If you gotta keep your losses smaller than your wins, I'm sorry, but it's not gonna work out, you know. Once you master that trading, your whole trading psychology changes, and you go into trades knowing that, you know, it doesn't matter if I have this huge stop loss, because I know there's no way that I'm gonna lose what I've set out to lose. Because risk management correctly done means that you're going to go into a trade, let's say, willing to lose 1,000, and you only lose 500, no matter what the circumstances. So that's what you need to basically get your head around with risk management. Still not looking for sells on GJ. What could easily happen, of course, is if we form this weak support, we could come down to the bottom of the range. It's a move that I'm willing to miss out on just because of my market structure bias. But gold seems to be coming down again. Could get that candle close on gold, especially on the 1 hour and the 30 minutes. It's looking pretty good. Obviously, like I said, there is like a minor rule of thumb that you don't want the candle low getting broken within like the first minute. It is a nice candle close, of course, below that 1 hour support level, indicating that there's a good chance that we are not going to respect that level and that we can come down to the support level. But what we want to see is a proper retest of this zone, not just a quick wick up and wick down. Just for safety precautions. We did form this week's a very, very weak support on GJ. Gold is being gold right now, wicking up and down like a maniac. We have broken the previous candle low, but the way that it's moving right now is, I mean, it's interesting to say the least. So this would be optimal entries obviously at the break of the low here, but as you can see, taking a gold sell right now doesn't look like the funnest thing. That was a mini washing machine on its own. Now it seems to have gained like a little bit more stability. Like I say, guys, you want to see a proper retest of this zone before getting involved, because supports and resistances always do get retested at a certain point. So this will at one point get a retest. Whether this happens, we get the breakout and then it comes back and retests, and then what happens is the ideal sells are back down to the lows, or if it does it on this very candle where it wicks up into the zone and then pushes down. That's your alternative retest. This is also very choppy price action, just in general, on gold. So if you are gonna, or thinking about taking a trade on gold, definitely lower your risk. GJ looks like the much better option just to wait it out. Back to the news though. This is probably going to be the biggest news of the week on the dollar, especially on gold, because this federal funds rate is going to probably move the dollar quite a big amount. And if it's good news, of course, it's going to strengthen the dollar, and that's going to cause gold to come down. So we're getting a minor push on gold here. It's trying. If anyone did take an entry, it should have been just at the break of the previous candle low. To come down to probably about this area over here. I didn't take it. I took it on a much smaller lot size than usual. I halved my lot. My entry was around here somewhere, but I'm just going to manage it. To be honest, it's up quite nicely, but if it comes back to break even, I will most likely close the whole thing. The way that it moved at the beginning obviously kept me out of it, but then it started to stabilize. So at this point, I'll probably be looking to secure a little bit. But I do want to obviously see it come down a little more. If it can come down like the full 20 pips, that'll be great. I'm probably going to... I took a 10 lot on this trade. So if I can get a... Yeah, 10 pips, that'll be good. Still more interested in obviously GJ later on. So didn't want to ruin the chances of that. Like I said, if price comes back up to my entry level, I will definitely be closing half of my position, because we shouldn't come so far down and reject and then come back. Right now we just want to be moving down towards about 1781.88. Was it my greatest entry of all time? Must be said. You just need a little bit more of a push. Candle formation wise, it doesn't look bad. Should continue to 1781. Gold was definitely a type B, yeah. Close below support. Basically a tap back up into that area. Break of the previous candle low, respecting the previous candle high. And then clean candles to the left. So there's a good chance that we're going to retest, or not retest, but come back down to the support level. It wasn't a perfect type B because the pullback that we got wasn't exactly to the previous support level. So it wasn't perfectly retesting. Pound AUD trade yesterday was wrong. I didn't take a pound AUD trade yesterday, fortunately. Let me check pound AUD out. Oh, I think you were the one who asked me to analyze pound AUD. Well, what trade? First of all, you need to tell me what trade you're talking about. If you're talking about how I said it was probably going to be sells, that doesn't mean that the trade was wrong. It just means that there were buys. If a trade's wrong, it means you say take a trade, and then you lose the trade. My market bias on pound AUD is bearish. This is counter trend. You need to realize that. If this is our low over here, the point which created the low is up here, which is why do you think we are rejecting this area? Because you probably don't have any concept on how to identify market structure. Let me explain something to you. If this over here is the point which created the low, why do you think we're rejecting that area? Because it's a resistance. This is resistance. And this is what I mean by all the buyers get excited when they see stuff like this. Because now they're thinking, okay, that's bullish market structure. But how is this bullish market structure if this is a low that was created and the point that created the low was up here? Why do you think now there's a good possibility we're going to do this, all the buyers are faked out, and we'll continue down? This is counter trend, my man. So the trade wasn't wrong. A trade is valid as wrong if you say, okay, take a sell over here, and then you hit your stop loss up here because your stop loss is over here and your TP is over here. That's wrong. I didn't say you must take any sells. I said my structural bias on pound AUD is bearish. I will not be looking for buys. Still looking for some bullish continuation on GJ. And bearish continuation on gold. Still in this trade. But I'm very tempted to move my stop loss to break even. Just because of how it's stalling at this point over here. GJ is coming back up. Just need to wait for an entry on GA. Exactly. If you want to take the counter trend trade, go for taking counter trend trades. I'm not stopping anyone, not Uzims, but Alan, because anyone can take any trade they want to. Just because I say something's bearish in market structure, that doesn't mean that you can't take buys. It just means that they're more risky. And that's not how I trade. How I'd rather trade is, okay, I see this as bearish in market structure. We've created such a big push. Let me wait for this and then just sell it at the resistance. So technically it's right. If you sold at resistance over here, you had these clean candles to the left. Type D respected the high of the previous candle. There was some minor resistance at that level. Take it back down to the support, create a new low. Easy as that. But you probably don't know how to take that entry. And it's very easy. Created a new high. This is all pullback. This is all counter trend. Created a new low. Created that high. Still a lower high. This candle respected the previous candle high and formed resistance. We had clean candles to the left. There was minor resistance within that candle. I can guarantee you that on the 5 minute or the 15 minute, by the looks of how strong bearish it is, probably on the 5 minute. Once you break that 5 minute support, there's a good chance that you're going to continue down to the lows and create new lows. Simple. You just need to know how to take that entry. If I see that set up on GJ, I'll take it every single time. Gold still struggling along here, guys. Not much we can do. Might just close it out at more or less break even. Yeah. Not worth being in that. If it comes down now, it comes down now. You know. Not a major issue. Probably will, to be honest. I just didn't want to risk anything too much. Are you in gold? No, I just closed my position at break even. Got slipped like a pip, so minus 30 pounds. Structure on gold is still bearish, by the way, guys. This was a really nice setup and I would have held it if we got a proper retest of this zone. But we didn't really, we just got this little wick up and then, yeah. GJ is what we should all be interested in right now. Mind checking GU. Yeah, GU is a tough one, especially on the 4 hour. Okay, start from the weekly. Still bullish by technicals on the weekly because of the previous week. Daily we formed resistance. Also bearish in market structure. So weekly we had bullish, bearish on the daily. 4 hour. This, okay, so this is definitely very hard to identify if you haven't obviously been doing this like way of identifying structure for a while. But this is our lowest body close. So we're more or less going to say this is our low and this is the point which created the low. So we got to close above that level. So it's like technically bullish in market structure. But this is the point which created it. So we'll be bearish below that area on the 4 hours. So bullish. So weekly is bullish. 4 hour, daily is bearish. 4 hours bullish by technicals. Then obviously you're going to drop down to 1 hour, but this is very choppy and this is very tough to identify. Then we drop down to the 1 or 30 minutes because we identify on the 30 minutes. Then you can start marking relevant supports and resistances. You can see we form resistance here, and you can see we're also going to be bearish in market structure because this is our low point which created the low. We'll only be bullish above this point, and we will need to create a new low to identify a new area where we'll flip market structure. So these would have been some pretty easy sells below this area down to this low. If you identified that there was some minor support within that 5 minute candle, or on the 5 minute candles within that 30 minute candle. Because there's clean range to the left. GJ right now is not doing too much. It seems to be coming down. We have now officially broken this support, this weak support. I'm obviously not interested at the moment in the sells just because of the market structure. But I can understand why people would be enticed into sells. It is market open, and we obviously did fake out of this range. This is the range, the original range. You can see here we had this close outside of the range. The very next candle closed back into the range. Clear candles to the left, basically come down to the bottom of the range. That's the whole fake out theory. But Zeebs, I hope that managed to clarify anything on GEU for you. So the 4 hour is going to be bullish in market structure. Yeah, bullish because of this high created. Made it look so easy. Just because, I mean, I've been identifying market structure like this for a very long time. And once you get it, you can literally look at any chart. It doesn't even have to be currencies and you can do it. Just experience. So GJ, we just kind of need to wait. Again, if you want to take these sells, I'm not saying you can't, but I am telling you it is counter trend. And I think GA was the best idea, or like the best example I can give of how counter trend works, or like how a trend works. Is your prices going to change in the new year? I don't actually know yet. Probably not in January, to be honest. I'm gonna see. Yeah, probably not in January. Maybe after that, but I think for January it'll probably be the same. You always wait for 30-minute 1 hour closure above or below your zone, right? Yeah, always wait for a 30-minute or 1 hour closure, unless it's like a very high volume time, because 15 minutes isn't a strong confirmation time frame. 30 minutes is strong enough, and 1 hour is a very strong confirmation. So if you get a 1 hour close or 1 hour close below or above, it is a lot stronger. Regarding the monthly, I think that the monthly membership will stay exactly the same, to be honest with you. That gives people who want to do the advanced course the opportunity to do that without having to pay, like, you know, such a large lump sum of money. And once you have paid for your 12 months of the monthly, that is it over. Well, no, so I don't think that price will change after January, to be honest. So yeah, if you are waiting for candle closes, guys, keep in mind that 30 minutes is an extremely good time frame to wait for a candle close. It is strong enough confirmation to basically ensure that, you know, you aren't either respecting a support or resistance. And 1 hour is an even higher confirmation. Remember, the higher the time frames, the higher the confirmations. So that's how you need to look at it. So a 4 hour time frame, like a 4 hour candle close above a 4 hour resistance zone, is a very good indicator that price is going to continue bullish. But sometimes you do need to drop down to the 15-minute to get an optimal entry. Good thing I closed gold early. Would have been basically back at entry. Yeah, I can definitely explain why it has that. Let me go to a clean chart. Okay, no drawings on here. Okay, so what you need to understand with market structure, right, is you need to identify the high and the low, basically, the most recent high or the most recent low. And then you need to identify the area which created that high or the low. So let's say we have identified this as our high. This is on the 30-minute time frame. Now, to identify the point that created the high, we look for a 2-candle pullback, which means 2 candles in the opposite direction. So if it's a high, you look for 2 bearish candles. If it's a low, you look for 2 bullish candles. So obviously here we've identified our high. Now we're going to look for 2 bearish candles which more or less created the high. So we'll come back down here. Here's 1 bearish candle. So this isn't classified as a pullback. This is like a pause. Another pause, that's 1 bearish candle. But here we have 2 bearish candles. So this is a pullback. So this is classed as the area which created this high. So we will only be bearish once we get a close below this level. Until then, we're bullish. So if we carried on like this, we would have, carried on the bullish trend. But now that we have identified the area that created the high, we now need to draw a line at the bottom of it and realize that, okay, if we get a close below that area, we are then bullish in market structure, because at the moment we are then bearish in market structure, because at the moment we are bullish. So now, as you can see, we got a candle close below that level, making us bearish in market structure. And now, since we're bearish in market structure, we look for a 2 candle pullback that is bullish. So we come up here, here's 1 candle, here's 2 candles. So until we get above this level, we are bearish in market structure. Now what ended up happening was we created a new low. So you have to keep on updating it. So this is our new low over here. So now we look for the area which created this low. And again, that's going to be a 2 candle pullback. So here we had 1, so that's classified as a pause. Again, 1 classified as a pause, 1, that's a pause. Here's 3, so it's 2 or more, remember? So this is a pullback. So we are going to be bullish if we break above this level. So what you can do is you can mark that with a line like that. Obviously the broker that I use, which is not the broker which I use, but people who I get buy prices from, is FXCM or under in this case. So this was the low over here, and this was the area which created the low. You can see we got a candle close above that level, transitioning structure back to bullish until we get below this level, because this is the 2 candle pullback which created the high. So you need to look for highs and lows and identify the areas which created the highs and the lows. Of course, you can be stuck in a situation like this where, look, it is literally different on 2 different pricing platforms. So this is FXCM. No, this is Forex.com. And this low was created by this point, which hasn't been exceeded yet. So if you use this as your pricing, you're obviously going to have a bearish 30-minute structure. But if you use or under, you're going to have this as your new low over here. This was the point which created your low up here, and you got that close above, making this your new low which created that high. I hope that makes sense. I did used to use FX, what's this, Forex.com, and then you started getting things like this at the beginning of weeks, so it doesn't really help. Yeah, so I identified structure, not just the body like that. I used the full wick, because the full wick is still part of that candle which created it. So to get that full transition, obviously now if we class this as bullish, this would then be the point which transitions structure. So if you just look at the body, all you would need would be a close below this area. But if you take into consideration the wick, it'll be a close all the way below here. Makes sense? Cool. That can be a very hard concept to grasp, obviously, for people who haven't really had that much experience in Forex and with market structure. But I promise you, once you understand it and once it clicks, it is one of the easiest things to understand about Forex, and probably one of the most important technical aspects is market structure. I talk about it pretty much all the time. It is how you keep yourself on the right side of the market. So even if I had a 3v1 buyer's market, I would still not be enticed to take sells, because how I like to describe it is, imagine you basically have buyers on one side and sellers on one side, and they're pulling a rope. Now if you have a 3v1, it's 3 people on one side and 1 people on the other side pulling that rope. How you need to visualize it is who is more likely to win. And that's how you need to look at market structure. So obviously the side with 3 is more likely to win than with 1, and in a 4v0 market, it's even more. Your way of teaching Forex is easier? Honestly, I think Forex needs to be made simplistic. Otherwise, you just get people, like people doing all these shapes and all this stuff like this and calling things different names. It's like it's too much. You're just trying to overdo it type thing. So yeah, simple is definitely better. So why did you not enter buy after 1 hour close above and Wix and next kind of broke the high? Because first of all, I wasn't looking at the chart at the time. I normally only get on at about 9:30 my time, which was the candle after this. And I also think that this candle broke the high. Was it quite early on in the candle? I think it broke the high almost immediately. And that's one of like the conditions that I take on a trade is if I see a candle high broken within like the first 2 minutes, there's a good chance that it's not going to continue that way. You also need to realize, this is something you need to take into consideration is, look at this big push that we made, this bullish push. There's definitely going to be some exhaustion before we continue bullish. So exhaustion is definitely something you need to take into consideration. So from experience, once you see a big bullish push like this, there's a good chance of getting some exhaustion. So this is basically the buyers chilling out a little bit. Some more sellers maybe come into the market, and then price gets pushed up a lot. Check gold. Yeah, so gold did end up doing essentially what we wanted it to do. I mean, I'm not sad at all that I missed this, you know, no regrets about closing the position early. Like the whole drawing lines makes it so difficult and confusing. Yeah, and the problem with that style of trading, like I've always said, there isn't one correct style of trading, but there's ways to teach Forex, which I think is a lot easier and a lot more simplistic to learn. And like things about that whole lines and all that, they don't take into consideration the correct way of identifying market structure. What they do is they'll take like a trend line and do something like this and say, okay, we're trending bearish. That's what they'll say. So I don't see how lines like this can, and then you start having things like this where you have a line like that there, a line like this here, and they start calling this something like a wedge or something. So if you break out of one side of the wedge, it means you're going to continue in that direction of the wedge. Like, there's too many names for things. Just price action. It's something which has been used for years and years and years. You're a legend. Thank you so much, Alessandro. I really do appreciate the kind words. Like Zeems was a previous shape trader or trend lines and all that stuff, and I used to give him like I used to tune him about it all the time and say like, yeah, you can't be trading with shapes. Like honestly, the amount of traders who are successful using that stuff, the percentages are so low, it's frightening. Probably 1 or 2% of traders who use those techniques are successful. And you'll often find those traders who use those techniques are the ones who are those Instagram traders as well, who they'll be posting the pictures with like the Ferraris and stuff like that, which is being paid for with the subscription money, and they're the ones aiming at like saying 1,000 pips type thing in the week. And it's because anyone can kind of draw lines on a screen and like kind of fake sell a course, but you can't fake sell something like support and resistance and price action and like trading properly. You can't fake trading properly, and that's why you see traders like that never live stream and they never trade in front of people. Would you take trades at 5:30 p.m. South African time? With the new daylight savings, probably, yeah, it's not too late, because that's only about 3:30 UK time. So there's still definitely volume in the market. Yeah, I did used to Zeus. Because another thing, guys, honestly, when you have traders telling you that because you see this, it means we're buying now. This is their one and only confluence. This. They say it's a double bottom or something. Now, I don't know how you can base your whole trading approach on waiting for a shape to form. That means you're not taking into consideration any part of market structure. You're not thinking, okay, well, this is a bearish market. First of all, how can we buy? Because if this was your low and this was where the low was formed, you know, why would we buy? So they're literally basing it on seeing a W rock up on their screen like this. And they're saying, now it's time to buy. And I don't like saying like a way of trading is wrong, because like I said, there's no right way of trading. But I don't like how the traders who trade like that, to be honest, because there's a lot of frauds who do trade like that. And you'll often see a lot of the traders who do trade like successfully and transparently, a lot of them are price action traders. And like, look at Roger Banks, Matt Todd, at Todd Capital Group. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He is like a structure god as well. Insane at structure. Exactly, Sharif. Like, there's too many things. Double top this, double bottom that, ascending flags, descending triangles. I think there's honestly a name for everything, and there's a reason why each of those things have have a specific like entry, and it just, to me, it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo, like a lot of it. And I'm sure honestly there are people who have mastered it and do know how to trade with that stuff, but that's why I say the percentage is so small. 1 or 2% of people can actually understand that stuff, and people who are hopping into the markets for a quick fix are getting sold that stuff, and it's probably like the most technical things like you can do. Like Luke said, the way that this Forex style is traded or taught is just simplicity. You need to understand a couple of things, and if you do that properly, then you'll be fine. Anyone can be gifted technically in Forex. Same as fundamentally. Anyone can be good at fundamentals or technicals. But that is only legitimately, and you hear it all the time, that is about 40% of trading. The other 60%, and probably even more, is psychological, like aspects of trading, and discipline. Like without that, like you're done. You're just going to be feeding the market money. You can be the best technical trader in the world, and if you just have a bad psychology or bad discipline, you're gone. There's no hope. I've been there. I know Zeems, I know, and I finally got you on the right side of the markets. Now you're learning Forex properly. There is nothing worse, honestly, for like someone like me who has been in this industry, and I see like friends get involved and I see them getting taken for a ride, and by these guys who promise, or not necessarily they're promising you that you're gonna have like this amazing life within a couple of months, but they are promoting a life which is literally being paid off by their students, if that makes sense. So they are promoting like these fancy cars and all that sort of stuff, which is literally being paid off by subscription money, not by trading. And it's pretty, like it's honestly, it's terrible to see. Sorry guys, honestly, this is some pretty slow market conditions. Still waiting for a close above this level. If we could get a nice bullish candle close, I still definitely think that the buys are on. Yeah, definitely. Sell's not interested in right now. I don't know about you guys, but if any of you are here do trade different cells, please do let me know. I'll be interested to to see how you guys do approach like the markets, and like how you what if you guys are price action traders, you know, you base it on like those shapes and trends and that sort of stuff. It'll be interesting to see, because like I said, I don't like to think that there is one correct way of trading, but I do like to think that there's one correct way of teaching trading, which is just realism. Yep, exactly what we want to see on GJ. We want to see this bullish continuation now. Correct some of this move. You can see on the different time frames on the 4 hour, we're pushing above this 4 hour resistance level. If we can get a candle close above here, which will only be in about an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 23 minutes, and then we can get that continuation to retest this resistance on the 4 hour. Daily, coming back up, we broke the low quite early on in the day, so now that we flip bullish, there is a good chance of continuing. Weekly, I mean the 1 hour is still looking pretty good. We did break the previous 1 hour high, which was also resistance, but waiting for a close might be a little bit safer. Just because, you know, it doesn't look like the volume is too strong right now. Guys, please also remember, if you haven't, to leave a like and subscribe. There's also a free Telegram in the description and a Instagram page, which I post a lot of analysis on, and try to post as much content as I can on that Instagram page. Also the Telegram, yeah, it is free, and we do try to chat as much as we can. I post daily chart analysis on there and just talk about some trade ideas. So yeah, that stuff is all free. GJ waiting. Best thing is Ichimoku. GJ is trying. GJ is trying. I'll give it that. So if you look on the 30 minutes here, we got this is your body resistance basically. We got a candle close above that, we got this wick down, and then we broke the previous candle high. We are in an upward trend, right? So there could obviously at the break of this wick over here be some pretty risky entries, but with the market bias, taking that into consideration, as well as us not really respecting this resistance level because of us having this candle close above the resistance body, so it's the highest closing candle, these buys could make sense. And now that you have your wick down, you have your stop loss level. So again, you could take a low risk trade at this point, in the hopes that, you know, if things do go wrong, it's not obviously going to be the end of the world. You're not going to be risking nearly as much. What entry do you want to see? Honestly, this would be a risky type B entry, with entries just at the break of this high over here. So that's an option. Obviously, if you want to play it safe, we could get a type B over here. So get a close above this resistance level, a full close, and then a wick down. So something like this, wick down, continuation. And then your entry is obviously going to be at the break of this high over here. That's what you're looking at right now. So you just need to be, either need to be patient or trust that this market structure and volume in the market, which it doesn't look like there is a huge amount, is going to like push us through. Another idea that you can have if you want to take some aggressive entries is, once you get this candle closed, take the entries on the wick down in anticipation that it's going to go up or continue bullish. So that would be earlier entries as opposed to taking the entries at the break of the high over here. Gold, yeah, is respecting the support level, which was pretty expected. If you did take this trade, well done. I did take it, but I closed at break even more or less because, yeah, price was stalling too much, and it was just, I didn't really want to hang around in it. So, yeah. But idea played out perfectly, got an hourly candle close. The reason I was a little bit worried about it was this was our support level. we didn't get that full retest of the support level, so I did take the entry at the break of the low. We came down to about here. I hadn't secured any profits by the time, and then when we came back to entry, my condition was if we come back to our entry, I will be closing the full position. And that's what happened. But it made sense. We were also in bearish market structure on gold. It was a 3v1 bearish market. So continuations to this support level was very likely once we got this candle close outside of this range over here. And that's why just understanding our market structure alone will give you much better entry types and much better entries. I want to go back to GA because someone earlier said that the GA analysis from yesterday was wrong. And I just want to explain why it was, which time frame did which pair did I want to go to? I think it might have been Orlando. Let me go to forex.com. Okay, so obviously we had a very bearish market bias yesterday on GA. It was a 4v0 bearish market. So what I said to someone yesterday was that we should be looking for sells and sells only. Now obviously when you see something like this, it doesn't make it look like it's a bearish market because you have your higher low and then essentially this is like a higher high and again higher low, higher high. One thing that this is it's called counter trend. So this, or micro trend should I say. So it's counter trend and micro trend. So if you're buying in here, you're buying into a counter trending market. This is also micro trending. And the reason for that is this is our low down here. This is the area which created the low. Now if we draw a line across here, we did not get a candle close above that point, making us still bearish in market structure. So for me, I wouldn't have been interested in taking any of these buys. The only thing that would entice you is like a purely clean candle setup, but again, it's such a risky situation. So what you would be looking for in this situation is taking sells at resistance. And as you can see here, we are respecting the bearish market bias because we came up to this resistance, we didn't close above it, and this would be a perfect entry for sells. You have all the clean range down to the support. You have this bearish support form respecting the high of the previous candle. Now all you have to do is identify some minor support within that bearish resistance and you can find an entry. You're respecting the point which basically is your structure flip zone. So this is where structure would flip. As you can see, we didn't get a close above that zone. So we're not bullish in market structure on any time frames. We would only be if we get a close above that zone. We respected the resistance, respected the high of the previous candle. So now what we need to do is we have formed resistance, find some minor support within that resistance. We have clean candles to the left over here. We can take sells down to the support and create a new low. That's what we did. So now it wouldn't be surprising if you literally end up seeing something like this, where all the buyers are getting happy. Okay, we can start taking some buys, higher highs, higher lows, and then you just get something like this. Continue that bearish market structure, that bearish continuation. So I hope that makes sense. That's why you don't get involved in a counter trending market. Because if you're a long-term holder, of course in the short term it's fine. If you're taking short position, long positions, but for the short term, these buys are fine. But it's a counter trend, so obviously you're running a risk. But if you're a long-term holder and you want to see it get up here, you're gonna have a bit of a problem. On gold, why is it not a good idea to give it a chance? Give it a chance to the hour? You might have to rephrase that. I took a sell here and then expected it obviously to come down to the support, which it did eventually. But what happened was we came into profits and then we were so far into profits and I didn't secure those profits. Because I just wanted to let it run a little further. And what ended up happening was we came back to my entry. So to minimize my risk and basically to say, okay, I'm fine with accepting that this trade didn't work out. I put my stop loss at break even. So I closed the trade with no loss. because the trade didn't, like, the candle was not, the lower time frame candles weren't forming how I wanted them to. These 5 minute candles, if that makes sense. We could also be looking at a 1 hour fake out on gold back into the range. I'm just going to reload this and I can show you what we would be looking at for that. You can see this is our range. This whole area over here. So what we've had is we've had a candle close outside of the range, and this candle could come and close straight back in the range. That mixed with the clean candles to the left, we could come and retest this resistance area and or the top of the range and have that continuation back up. GJ is still in the range? Yeah, GJ is messing about in the range. That's why you wait for candle closes. Anyone taking these breakout buys, they're going to obviously be in a little bit of drawdown now. But that's just impatience. You got to wait for the candle close. If you guys do have any charts or any pairs that you want me to check out, please do send them. I will do my best to send some. I'll give you my opinion on it. Another key aspect of what this candle shows, guys, is remember the importance of respecting candle highs and lows. So I've seen this probably hundreds of times. We respect this candle low with this candle low. Then we obviously are faking out essentially, and we can come back up to the top of the range. Now an added confluence, and it's quite a advanced confluence, is obviously understanding what respecting of the low means. It's that the seller's pressure is running out. And by respecting the low of that previous candle, it means there's a good chance we're going to continue bullish, especially if we fake out. So buys above this level, if this is how this candle closes, is 12 minutes, then we could continue. Paper trading breakout buys, and I'm getting burnt bad. Yeah. I mean, GJ is, it's not really acting nicely, but at least it is paper trading and you're getting that, that experience from it, rather than blowing accounts. So ideally what we'd like to see here, guys, is within this 30-minute candle, we form some 5-minute resistance, and then we can buy it back up to the higher levels. And if that, with the fake out and respecting this candle low, it'll be a very high confidence trade and a very high probability trade above this level. Obviously, you'd like to see a wick down and continuation. So it'll look something like this. But you do need to also take into consideration the market structure. Well, the market structure that I have on gold right now is 3v1 bearish. So it is slightly counter trend. Judging on how yesterday's candle closed though, daily candle, of course there is a lot of buyer's pressure in the market. It's also a straight up rejection from this support area on the 1 hour. So if this 1 hour now flips bullish, it's basically saying, okay, we're respecting this support area and we're coming back into the range, and then we can continue to the top of range, because you can see how clear this range is on the 1 hour. Right over here. Please remember to leave a like on the stream, guys, if you haven't already. And sub if you're unsubbed. It does help a lot. But it's looking pretty good on the 30 minutes. If we get a strong bullish candle close, so because that's also forming that 30-minute support that we wanted at a previous level of support. Just got to be careful of the range, that's all. GJ still messing about. Ranging. Do you use indicators? I do not use indicators, and I'll tell you why I don't use indicators. Indicators are lagging. They're lagging indicators. So what they'll tell you is what's basically already happened. So an indicator will only give you that indication once price has already moved in a certain way. It's a lagging indicator, because no indicator is going to be able to tell you what's about to happen. So if you just know how to read a chart, you don't need an indicator, and they just make they try to give you too much information. You don't need that much information. So no, I don't use an indicator or any indicators. So one trade taken today, guys. It was a break-even trade on gold. If I'd held the position, obviously it would have ended up going a lot better, but is what it is. Not too worried about it. It's been a pretty good week so far. Took 2 good wins yesterday. It was one on gold and one on GJ. Just waiting at the moment. Check out Nasdaq, because I know how many people love Nasdaq. Still in this range on Nasdaq. Just no volume. We did get this 4-hour close below the 4-hour support. Got that clean traffic. So if we break these new weak 4-hour supports, there's a good chance we could continue. You think we'll get the volume in GJ? Yeah, so basically if we range throughout London, which it looks like we're doing, NY session is going to have a good amount of volume. Quite interested at gold at the moment to see how this 30-minute candle closes. We have 7 minutes. If we get a strong bullish close, then there's a good chance that we can get some continuations to the upside. Because at the moment on GJ, we are kind of just stuck in this range. It's terrible. Terrible price action. Please also remember to hit the sub button if you guys haven't subbed already. Also would really appreciate that. At the moment, it is just a waiting game. Thanks for the chart, Sharif, in the Telegram. We can see that. So I'll be looking at potential buys above this level, guys. If we get a strong bullish candle close and basically wick down and break the candle high to come back into this range and retest this support, this resistance level. The only thing that could be happening as well right now is this could be our official retest of this support level. And if this closes weak bearish, there's a good chance that we can continue the bearish momentum. And we are in bearish market structure, remember? So you need to take that into consideration as well. Because we have now officially wicked into our previous area of support. And on the lower time frames, what this will be is creating resistance at this area. So it's support turned resistance. Otherwise, buys above this level are going to be a lot easier to catch. If you are looking at trading GJ, I would honestly just wait for a candle close above 150.191 and then a wick down and break of the previous candle high and then continuation. Please keep in mind market structure, guys, on GJ. There are obviously a couple of different ways which you could read it, because just from looking at this other GJ chart that I have, the 30-minute market structure on this chart is still bearish, because we had this low created over here. This was the area which created the low. We haven't got a candle close above that area just yet. So in technicals, it's still bearish on this price. This, whoever's giving the prices here, it's forex.com. But on our under, it seems to be different. So in a 3v1 bullish market, I would still be looking for buys though, mainly buys. What that can allow us to do is for some sellers in the market to drive price down a little bit and then allow us to get more optimal entries. Other than that though, guys, I'm probably going to be on for about another 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes. Can we see GU? Yeah. Let me check out GU. I did check it out a little earlier. Just find the right chart. So the weekly time frame on GU, I can do a quick breakdown for you. Weekly, we take into consideration the past weekly candle, bullish, right? Bullish market structure. Daily is bearish. We formed resistance yesterday. We are currently on a daily support level, so keep that in mind. The 4 hour, very hard to identify the structure, but we did identify that this was a low, this was the point which created the low, this was our new high, and then this was the point which created the high, so we need a close below that point to be bearish, so we are bullish in market structure on the 4 hour as well. Then on the 30 minutes, we are obviously bearish in market structure. This was the point which created it, and we will only be bullish above this area up here, otherwise we need to create a new low. So what we want to be looking for is basically now zones to trade into. We have this latest support which we formed, and we have this resistance. The price action on GU right now is terrible. You can see there's hardly any trading ranges to trade into, hardly any clean candles. I mean, there's this tiny range under this level over here because that's clean candles, but at the moment you can see we're basically starting to form a range over here. So wait for us to either break out of this resistance or basically out of this whole area, because it's terrible price action. I honestly don't see many trading opportunities on GU. We have this area above here to here, because I mean at least then you are trading into some clean traffic, but the problem with that is it's only 11 pips. So GU at the moment I would stay far away from. It's not looking very good at all. And wait for candle confirmations as well on GU because of the bad price action. As you can see here as well, lots of wicks, lots of chop. GJ is finally coming up, which is great to see. If we get the strong candle close above this level, which closes in 1 minute, I'd like to see a wick down and then we can continue bullish. Like I said, guys, I'm only looking for buys on GJ today. If that means that sells end up happening and I miss the sells, it's all right, you know. Are you leaving, Luke? Okay, we're getting a nice push on GJ. Just gotta wait for the candle close, guys, honestly. And then, like I said, there's two ways of entering this. There's the there's the break of the high, so you can take an entry at the break of the. So if this candle closes above the resistance level, you can take an entry at the break of the high, or you can take an entry on the wick down. So basically, on this candle wick down, we have got to close above the level now. So what you'd want to see for confirmation is a break of the high. Okay, cool, Luke. Check the W on GJ. Don't want to hear about shapes today. Already chatted enough about shapes. But yeah, this is the close that we wanted on GJ, guys. As you can see, this was our highest resistance level, which we had over here. We got a very clean candle close, even above the wick. And now what we want to see, obviously, is a wick down and then a break of the high here. Gold as well. This trade idea that I was talking of, but now we close strong bullish. There's minor resistance within that level, as you can see. Now a great opportunity to retest these highs. Yeah, no problem, Luke. Thank you again for being here for the support. It is much appreciated. You just got to be careful on gold. This is slightly counter trend. There's also not much space for your stop loss to be placed. You could maybe place it under this 15-minute candle. Very, very like frequent thing which I've seen recently. Again, what you take into consideration is how this candle high was respected. Candle low, sorry. This candle low was respected by this candle low, meaning that seller's pressure is dying out. What you could see here though, because we're at a previous point of support, is this now turn into resistance because we're in that downtrending market. That's the only risk with taking trades like this in a counter trending market. Okay, GJ is giving us a stop loss level, which is basically going to be at the low of this current candle. I'll be looking for entries above here, obviously, or if you're taking the aggressive entries, you can take them on this wick down in anticipation that we're going to get that bullish continuation. There's also a very, very good 1 hour candle close, guys. This is a 1 hour close above the previous 1 hour resistance. Now, if we can get a tap back into this area and then a break of this 1 hour high, we have all this to trade into on the left here, up until this area over here. Not saying that you can just do it in one move. It's probably going to take a little bit of, you know, a bullish push, and then maybe a little bit of stalling. Let me draw that properly. Could have a little consolidation and then continuation, because to do a big push like this does take a lot of volume, and we don't seem to have that volume in the market right now. So yeah, just gotta be wary of that sort of stuff. If anyone is taking this gold trade idea, just manage it. Counter trend. You need to be aware that it is counter trend. GJ is looking a lot better because it is with the trend. So now all we need to see is a break of the previous candle high. Looks really good on the 1 hour as well, to be honest. This was our 1 hour resistance level. As you can see, we got a good candle close above that resistance level, indicating that we no longer are respecting that resistance level. And essentially what this wick down will be is a retest of that zone. So no entries until we break the high of this candle. News-wise, there's not a lot of news except for, well, there's not a lot of pound news, but there is a heavy impact dollar news today. Yep, Sharif, I'm just looking on the on the Telegram now, and that is a pretty similar idea to what I have, if you're still in the stream. Clean traffic, break and retest, yeah. It's all about this candle now though, and this is where you gotta look at candle confirmations and candle formations, because if we don't get the break of this high, there's no real confirmation yet that we're going to continue bullish. So this is a very important level. Because what we could now start doing at this level is that stall move that I was talking about, and then get a push on, and then continue. So we don't really want to get involved in the stall, because that's basically like being in that consolidation, that washing machine, and then you're going to be profits, loss, profits, loss, profits, loss. Very hard to manage that situation. Which is why if you get the clean break over here, you have an exact area where your stop loss is going to be, and you know exactly where you can manage the trade from. And by respecting the previous candle low and not respecting the previous candle high, that is normally indication of bullish continuation. So just be aware of that. Please remember to leave a like, by the way, guys, if you haven't already. I know I do keep on asking you, but it does help the stream. I've probably about another 15 minutes, guys. So let's hope we get this move within the 15 minutes. Or I'll probably wait until this move is done. The washing machine, yeah. That is basically what gold was in at this point over here. So now it's just the waiting game on GJ. Market structures with us, candle formations are with us. You know, this is when you do your confluence check before your entry. Got the clean candles, got the market structure. The candle formations are perfect. We had resistance, closed above resistance. Now we just need the break of this high, and we should have enough confluences with us. We just need the volume in the market. And if it doesn't work from there, all you have to do is manage your risk. You drop down to the 5-minute time frame, you identify 5-minute lows of the candle if you're in a buy. And if we're not respecting those 5-minute lows, those are great opportunities to close partials of your position while in loss. That way, let's say you're risking 1,000, there's no way you're actually going to lose that 1,000. The importance of risk management, guys. Never talked about enough. It's also not a huge amount of volume right now, as you can see, guys, which isn't ideal. The nice thing about these entries as well is it gives us a really good entry. So if we do get essentially the bigger move overall, it could end up looking something like this, where we come up to this level of resistance and then we make new highs, and then we're going to have the best possible entries. Just a waiting game. Cheers, Luke. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow, same time. No problem, no problem. We do still want to respect this 30-minute low as well, guys, this previous 30-minute low. If this 30-minute candle breaks this 30-minute low, it could invalidate the trade idea. Because what that's telling us then is we're also respecting the previous candle high. Could just come down to a low point and basically then start that move up again. So let's just be patient. What time does stream start SA time? At 9:30, so half an hour before London Open. We should be forming some support now, yeah, on the 5 minutes. So hopefully we get this support form on the 5 minutes. This could also be the break of the previous 30 and 1 hour high. We've now flipped bullish. At this point, it's just a matter of managing risk, guys, if we do get the break of the high. To be safe, you probably want to measure about a pip above this candle high, and then your entry will probably be at about that area. You do want to manage this trade though. You don't just want to let it run. How you can manage it obviously is on the 5-minute time frames. Of course, it's going to be a little bit tougher now because there's not a lot of 5-minute candles to close half or that sort of thing. But areas where you could manage it is obviously if this flips bullish, you could close half. Depending on how much you want to manage this trade, you could also just wait for it to create that bottom 5-minute wick and then continue bullish. We have now formed that 5-minute support, so you just want to be a little bit wary. And it's one of those situations, guys, if the trade does not work out, then, it's just one of those things. Live trade your account. Live trade my account. Meaning? So if anyone isn't GJ buys, please do manage risk. Can't stress that enough. If we form a 5-minute resistance here, it could be also another opportunity to close a little bit of your position instead of just letting it run. Gold is coming down, so yeah, forming resistance at this previous level of support. Are you in GJ? I am in GJ. Just gonna manage it. $13.32. On the 30 minutes, I don't see. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to have to secure profits along the way. I don't think we're going to manage to do this whole move in one go. So it's just about securing profits. Again, this lack of volume is not helping us at all, because it means we're probably going to have to sit in this trade for a little while. But what this bottom wick has done us, so I will be closing half here for sure, because that's just how I manage my trades personally. But also no reason, like when you see trades going against you guys, there's no reason to panic, no reason to stress. People are going to lose trades, you're going to lose trades. It's just about managing those trades. You need to manage trades. And if you know how to manage a trade correctly, you're never going to be stressing when you're in drawdown. Manage my trades with a prayer. Yep. That is one of the oldest methods in the book, I think. Just gotta trust your analysis sometimes and let things play out a little bit. This 15-minute candle is closing, has just closed. No bottom wick on this new 15-minute candle, obviously a little bit worrying. Because you do want to see a candle wick down or wick in one direction first and then push in the other direction. I think we've all been through that stage of managing our trades with prayer, to be honest with you. Don't really like sitting around in trades for this long, but sometimes it's what you got to do. Yeah, 15-minute could be coming to form its bottom wick. Just gonna have to wait and see. Often respecting a previous 15-minute low, that sort of thing is very important, guys. So our current stop loss is at the previous 15-minute low, but that's why you kind of have to manage it on the 5-minute. Yeah, I want a bottom wick. So as you can see, about 90% of the candles have a top and a bottom wick. So when you see a candle without a top or a bottom wick, it's pretty unusual and not very likely to stay that way. So if you don't form that bottom wick first and it just goes up, there's a good chance, a 90% chance, that it's going to come back down and form that bottom wick. And once it does that, you don't know if it's going to then flip back bullish and continue its run, or if it's going to, once it flips to make the bottom wick, it continues in that direction. Basically what we're having now on this 15-minute candle. So at the moment, it's just patience and risk management, guys. You do often have to just sit in a little bit of drawdown, even if it is only a pip. It's not a big stop loss at all. 7 pips. 10.7 pips. It is just waiting at the moment though. So you're looking for double tops or bottoms. I just want to see I don't know if I don't call it a double top or a double bottom. I just want to see a candle with a top and a bottom wick. A double top and bottom, from what I'm thinking of a double top and bottom is like a formation, which I don't trade like that at all. But what I just want to see is like, look at all these candles. 80 to 90% of them have a bottom wick right here. If I can get this drawing tool to work. Bottom wick and a top wick. You see the odd one here. This one doesn't have a bottom wick. This one has a tiny bottom wick. This one doesn't have a top wick. Very, very slow, guys. Not a lot of volume. I have about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to head off. I may as well just see out the end of this trade. See where we're going to head. Still looking really nice on the 1 hour. Got that low wick retest of basically this resistance zone. And we've broken the high pretty significantly. So we should get that continuation with the bullish market structure. But sometimes price just moves like this, where it says, nope, we don't want to go up. Look down the 4 hour, you can see we have made quite a strong 4 hour push already. So could be getting a little bit of exhaustion on the 4 hour. Super slow again. Super slow. New 5-minute candle again. We did form supports on the previous 5-minute candle. So it's almost like we're shuffling up right now. We would have ideally wanted to see this move at London Open. Aren't Marabuzo candles not more reliable as they signal more volume on candles than the wicks? I mean, for me, what signals volume is obviously candle size for me. So I'm not really looking at the wick for the volume size, I'm looking at the candle. So if a candle's let's go to the 30-minute, for example. If you look at these candles right here, they're a lot smaller than these candles. And the reason for that is because this is Asian open. Same here. This is bigger candles. Why? Because we're in a time of high volume. So I don't really need an indicator to tell me, or what's that, Marabuzo candles. I don't need a different type of candle to show me how much volume there is in the market. I normally know by time of the day and experience. You know, market opens, you're always going to have more volume. That's personally how I look at it. Of course, I know for some people it might, you know, that Marabuzo stuff might work. Still super slow. And if there is anyone else in this trade, just have your 5-minute lows basically marked out, and you can use those as areas of possible risk management. And then we'll see how things go. Finally getting a little bit of a push on the 5-minute. This is one of the more significant 5-minute candles we've had recently. But yeah, still nothing substantial. Looking better again on the 1 hour. We're getting that full 1 hour candle. Nice strong volume. Because this 1 hour candle closed in about 36 minutes. New 5-minute candle opening in about 1 minute and 15 seconds or so. Yeah, so that's exactly how December works. From about the 17th, when all the banks go on holiday, the volume is terrible. There's always so much less volume from about that time. And I mean, you can see it's basically starting about now, which is why a lot of people, I stop personally trading on about the 17th or the 18th. Well, definitely short-term trades. Long-term trades, obviously, if you have a long-term bias, you can maybe take it like a swing trade. I know Raja took one on gold based on the monthly time frame yesterday, so he's going for gold longs based on the monthly. It's because I'm in the trade. Well, I don't know if you've left the trade yet, but it seems to be trying to push a little bit bullish. Don't worry, Sharif. I'm sure we'll be alright here. Again, what's good about this push is it gives you points to manage risk. So that's a really nice 5-minute candle close above the previous 5-minute resistance candles. So it could also be indicating maybe a little bit of volume is coming through. This is also the last 5 minutes of this 30-minute. So that'll also give us an indication that if this 30-minute closes, we could get a wick down on the new 30-minute. We are getting a nice push right now. We could get a wick down on the new 30-minute and then continuation. So yeah, definitely I'm still happy about how these candles are setting up. Of course, at the beginning of this trade, the volume was absolutely terrible. My final TP is somewhere up here. It's going to be at this 1 hour resistance level, but I'm going to secure over here at 10 pips just because of how slow this is. I definitely don't want to hang around in it. I'll secure probably about 80 to 90% of my position, and then I'll let the runner go see how much I can get out. At that point, I'll move my stop loss to break even, so that I'm not risking any of my profits, more or less. But yeah, we're getting a nice push now, which is great. Let's hope it can continue. This is 10 pips, by the way. If anyone got this entry here at 152.57, that is 10 pips. My entry was a bit lower. I took it on the wick down. So, but this is the safer entry. And I'm assuming if any of you guys took it based on this idea, that this will be 10 pips. So almost there, more or less. I'm going to be securing a little bit of my position because I took that earlier entry. I'm already 10 pips up. So there's 10 pips for anyone who took the trade. Well done. That will be 10 pips. Move your stop loss to break even, if that's how you just moving my stop loss to break even. My magic keys. I'm out 10 pips. Beautiful, beautiful. Lovely to see. Great session. Pleasure, Alan. Thank you for coming by. Remember, guys, if you haven't liked the stream, please do like it. Please do subscribe. Please do share it if you can as well. Share it with your friends, family. It all helps. And yeah, I have about 2 minutes left, so I'll just chill for about 2 minutes, and then if you guys have any last things you want me to check out or want me to answer or analyze, I'll do so, and then I'll be off. But well done again. If anyone got this GJ trade, we did chat about it. We discussed that buys was our only option today, or this morning at least. We got this perfect setup, the wick down, rejection of this zone, and then my entry was a bit earlier. My entry was where this white line is here, so at 200. So I did a little bit more than 10 pips, let it go though. But from where I said the safe entry would be, we did do our 10 pips, which is great to see. Please also, if you guys aren't in the free Telegram group, do join it. Link is in the description. And please do follow the Instagram as well. So Telegram and Instagram. That'll be great. Rejection is scary, yeah. I'm just looking. 15 minute resistance level. So again, just the importance of support and resistance. But nice to see that we managed to get that 10 pips at least. And again, guys, I will not be surprised just by how this morning we have pushed bullish if we do correct this move throughout the day. There's a chance of that happening. Gold created this low. Looks like we're coming down to retest the low on the 15-minute time frame. Still bearish in market structure. You need to remember that, guys. So 3v1 bearish. So sells make more sense on gold. Like we have this 4v0 bullish on GJ. So buys make a lot more sense. Other than that, yeah. There will be a lot more entries throughout the day to correct this move. I'm sure of it. And if we do start rejecting this area, then obviously we might come back down into this previous range. 30-minute has closed bullish. But I am pretty sure that if anyone got entries at above this level here, there's a good chance we're going to wick down and a lot of people's runners are going to be stopped out. My position was opened down here, so there's a chance if we don't wick down too much, my runner is going to stay in and we can continue bullish. That's what I'm hoping for. That was the risk of the early entry. Sure, Ranko, sure. Other than that, guys, that is 11:30. So have a great day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you everyone for supporting the stream. Remember to leave a like if you haven't, and I'll be live same time tomorrow, 9:30 South African time, which is 7:30 GMT. And yeah, have a great day, guys. Trade safely for the rest of the day. Remember, buys mainly on GJ, sells could be a very good possibility on gold. So if you trade those two, that's what I'll be looking at. Also, please be careful of any gold news later. This PPI can be very high impact. Cheers, Troy. Thank you for watching the stream. Have a good day. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time. Cheers, guys.